Did you hit record?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and tonight I'm joined by Derek
Hi, everybody.
and Eric.
Hi.
We're back for some more General Hospital in 1993. We're discussing the Brenda Years. Tonight we're discussing the episodes that aired between February 8th and February 19th, 1993. So I'll roll the credits and we'll get right into it. Okay, so Brenda. I don't feel bad for her. She did this to herself.
I mean, like,
She's pathetic.
she got what she deserved.
Yeah, she did, honestly. She still is, showing up at the cabin here and there, visiting Jagger. At some point, she calls him because her car broke down. So he goes to help her out.
Allegedly.
He has zero desire to see her. He's like not into her at all.
No, and that's why I don't feel bad for her, because like you did this.
Yeah.
He told you he wasn't interested, and now you're hurt because he went to Karen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he goes to help her out. They end up at a bar, and these guys are messing with Brenda, and he has to like defend her.
Mm-hmm.
I think I dozed for like 5 minutes. How did Karen see Jagger and Brenda together?
She was hiding in the bathroom.
But how did she get there? Like, why was she there?
She went to the mechanics and realized that Jagger was around, and then she realized he was at the cabin.
Well, yeah, the mechanic guy said Jagger's name. I guess he didn't change his name or anything.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Oh yeah, this guy Jagger. This guy Jagger works for me."
She saw his book on the shelf that he was reading, and
Yeah.
she realized Jagger was there. Yeah, working there. Yeah.
Now she went there because Brenda told her that that's where he was?
No, Brenda didn't know.
Okay.
No, she didn't know Brenda was there. But she was in there looking for Jagger.
Right.
And then she hid in the closet in the bathroom when she heard Jagger and Brenda coming. She was watching them in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay, so I came too then when Karen was already like mad at him because she saw them together, and I didn't know like how or why she saw them.
Well, they were getting a little cozy. They took the shirt off and like because they were cold because they just went sledding and yeah.
Gotcha.
You didn't even want to rewind it to see what
Oh, because I didn't know I missed that much. In my head, I only like closed my eyes for 2 seconds.
That is true. That happens to me a lot.
And I didn't feel like I missed anything else. I was just like, no, I'm good. I didn't miss anything. So we saw the dance. It wasn't as big a deal as I thought it would be.
No.
Brenda just kind of fluttering around with her camera, taking pictures.
Yeah. For the yearbook.
Mm-hmm. My prediction kind of came true about Jagger showing up at the dance and like swooping Karen away. Not exactly what I said, but he did show up. So Karen and Jason were crowned king and queen, like they expected. And they have a dance, and then some random guy asks to cut in, and then Jagger works up the courage to come into the dance, and then he kind of like pulls her away. She's mad at him because she saw him with Brenda, so she doesn't want to talk to him, and he's just like, shut the fuck up. And he like pulls her out of the dance, and he confesses how he really feels about her, and Jason saw everything, or he walked out as this was happening.
No, he saw everything and then he confronted Karen.
Then he confronted her. Okay.
Yeah.
Did Brenda hear everything? I felt like somebody heard everything.
Brenda was eavesdropping, I think.
Brenda's always eavesdropping. That's how she knew the combination. She saw her from like across the hall.
Yeah. I feel bad for Jason, actually. He had personality back then.
I do too, especially since like he flat out told her like I'm not gonna be in competition for you. I'm not. She's like you're not second best, and he's like, well, I don't want to be like uh tied for first or something.
Right.
Right.
So like
Mm.
he's been pretty transparent with her, and she's kind of just been stringing him along. Pressure from her mom because she wants her to be with a rich guy, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the quarter means, yeah, of
And
course.
also they were
Wants that
friends.
money.
She said that like they were friends before,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so she probably doesn't want to lose him in her life. Um, Jason had a line where he said he was willing to wait till they were engaged to have sex, and I'm like, just engaged.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sure she's not going to wait that long for Jagger.
He's
Yeah,
not.
right.
Definitely not.
No.
So yeah, I felt bad. Rhonda is pissed.
And she was pissing me off too. I was like,
was-
get a grip.
She was like, I stopped
Well,
drinking and I got a job.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah, because that's what you're supposed to do.
Daughter, and you're
well,
supposed to take care of her. It has nothing to do
she's
with who she's with. I was like,
Right.
what are you talking about?
she's very selfish, and she was a young
Mhm.
mother, I guess,
Mhm.
and didn't know what she was doing. So that's what you
Well,
get.
and also she's embarrassed because she found out from Monica.
Yeah, she did.
Hmm.
But I like Tracy's line when she was like, well, no more of that trailer trash, mom of hers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tracy cracked me up a lot in these 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Same.
Ned's a fucking asshole. And like
I know.
I don't buy this whole him potentially still caring for Jenny.
No.
He just hates her and he wants revenge.
So so Alan sat down and had a meeting with him. Tracy was going through his files, annoying Ned. And she's like, I
Yeah.
have stocking ELQ. I have every right to go through any files I want.
Yeah.
And Edward wants to talk to Ned, and she's like, well, I have every right to listen to this meeting. And he's like, it's personal. She's like, I'll take your word for it. So she leaves. Um,
Yeah.
and he kind of has a heart to heart with him and says like how Jenny's a nice girl and how every Quartermain man always has a woman to kind of stabilize him and like pull him
Yeah.
back from crossing the line, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And implying that's Jenny for him.
Right.
And I felt like how Ned was speaking to him, he was like, are you saying you want me to be with her? Like, and Edward was kind of like, a part of you must still love her. And I'm like, I don't think so.
No.
No.
I'm like, I don't see any remorse on his face.
Me neither. Not at all.
And he was almost like, if you want me to be with her grandfather, like he didn't say this, but it was coming off of like, if you want me to be with her for the family, then I will.
I didn't get
Like,
that impression.
Because
no.
he was just like, I respect your opinion.
Yeah.
But the way he said it, I was like, is he gonna try and get back with Jenny because Edward said so?
No.
I was like, it's like impossible at this point. Like Jenny
Yeah,
would
'cause I don't
never
think
get
Jenny
back with
cares
him.
anymore. I think she's done, and I would be
She
too.
shouldn't. She has Paul all over her, and he's a
Right?
handsome, wonderful man, and he's been nothing but supportive of her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no reason to go back to a total asshole. Like, he has no redeeming qualities, Ned, right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, Paul sold or he signed over all his stock in ELQ and his waterfront
Yeah.
property to
Mhm.
Ned in return that he wouldn't expose the tape and the senator or whatever.
Yep.
Right.
So what do we think? Do we think Ned was the one that did it?
Yes. He
Yep.
pretty much said
Yeah.
so.
He did?
Well, he found the other tape, and
In
and
the
yeah.
he found Tracy's tape
In the bookcase.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he pretty much told Paul when they were fighting that he did it, but he can't prove it.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But he's denying it with Julia and his family. He's not owning up to it. But with Paul, he's kind of like, yeah, I did it. What are you going to do about it?
I really want Ned to take a fall. I really need him to. I need him. Like, he even got like beat up, and it was like cool. But then again, he like ended up like winning, like being on top, and I'm like,
I hate that. I was so
I know.
angry about that.
Oh,
I
me
wanted Paul to
too.
kick his ass. But instead Ned got the upper hand on Paul, and I was so mad about that.
Same.
I am wondering if this might be what pushes Julia to second guess him being with him.
I think so. I
Because
think
I'm starting to kind of see the cracks in her with that.
Julie doesn't want to believe it's Ned, but I think deep down she knows it's him,
Yeah.
and she's gonna find out.
I hope she like screws him over big somehow, like wedding day, not show up type thing, something.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember who she was talking to, but she's like, she basically said that she's been dealing with people like Ned her whole life, like businessmen, because of her father
Jenny.
and everything.
Jenny.
Jenny,
She's
yeah.
talking to Jenny. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jenny's like, yeah, I don't care. Yeah.
So we only saw Marco in like 1 or 2 episodes. It was more towards the end. Ned tries to deflect that maybe Marco put it out, and even Tracy's like, no. She's like, Marco would have used that just to blackmail to get more money. Like he wouldn't have just exposed it like that.
Right.
Yeah, she said Marco wasn't that stupid. He would use it.
Yeah.
It's true, yeah, for sure.
So we got to see the new AJ, Sean Kanan.
Yeah.
It was nice to
Handsome
see
little
his
bugger.
first eye.
Yes. Did you guys know that he and C. Burton are cousins in real life?
No.
Yeah.
Who?
Him and C. Burton are cousins in real life. That's why they look so much alike.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never did either.
I just thought it was a great casting, and because they look like they could be related.
No, they actually are related.
Oh wow!
I think on their mom's side or one of their mom's side. I think I can't remember.
I was
But
gonna say, yeah, like mothers or sisters then, I guess.
I've been like living my whole life being like, they did so good casting them. They look so much alike.
No, they're actually cousins.
Oh wow!
That's funny.
Yeah.
Maybe he got him the job because he had been there a year already.
Maybe.
For the audition.
Yeah, I never read that. And everything that I've ever read, I never read that. That's weird.
I can't remember where I read it, but I read it a while ago.
Interesting.
I think when Steve Burton came back to GH, not this time, but the time before that, I think that's when I read that. Because when Sean Kanan was leaving and he was coming back, I think that's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fun.
Still don't care about this whole Halifax thing. Apparently, Sean has some kind of history with this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really understand because they didn't really explain it.
No.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't know what the end goal is. Is it just to get that damn painting?
I don't care.
I think I do have a theory about the painting. I think the painting is hiding behind that one painting that he's so fond of.
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
Like they painted over it.
Yeah.
Thing. I've seen that done before.
Yeah, that's what I think.
That's cool. That's probably right.
I did enjoy how Holly and Bill deflected that they were like still friendly whenever he would pop up.
Yeah.
Those were fun. Like one time she was like in the Outback and he was just like, get out of here and take your paycheck or whatever. And he just like gave her some random person's paycheck.
When I was watching Bill and Holly's scenes, I was thinking about what's happening on GH now. I'm like, where's Sasha? She would be a baby by now. What's going on? Like, because Robert died a year before this, so she should be around.
Well, you know, every parent on GH is pretty much a deadbeat. So they all leave their kids and then come back years later. So probably the situation.
So there's something about Felicia. She attracts crazy men.
Seriously, right?
This orderly nurse, I don't know what he is, has a thing for her.
I don't know either. Yeah.
I really like her friend that's in there that's like trying to protect her.
Chloe's teacher.
Yeah.
I forget her name.
She was like, he doesn't mess with me. And she was like, oh, why? And she's like, because he tried it. And then he found out that she's in there for life because she murdered a few people.
Right.
She has a knife and Felicia wants her to get her one. Matt comes to visit with Maxie, and Maxie's just kind of like wandering around playing with her doll or whatever. And I'm like, you're just letting this child run around with all these crazy people?
Yeah, right?
That was
I thought the same thing.
Shocked. I was like, what are they doing?
Yes.
They would have like a private room, I think, for that
Right.
if they do let you see
I
the
don't even
child.
think kids are allowed to visit their parents.
Probably not.
Like psychiatric wards.
Probably not.
So one of the inmates, we'll call them, ends up taking her doll, and Felicia's friend's like, "You better put that back." So because Maxie's crying, they go to see what's wrong with her, and then the inmate puts it back, but in Felicia's jacket, not to Maxie.
Yeah.
So now the orderly that's obsessed with her takes this opportunity to make it seem like she's delusional and she had the doll the whole time.
Yeah.
This is getting really frustrating. I almost wish like Ryan would just like kidnap her or something.
I'm not a fan of this storyline. So
Yeah.
I have a rant. So first of all, we had to endure the whole trial with Felicia, and now she has a trial inside the mental asylum whether or not she's Maxie. I'm like, I can't.
We also
Felicia.
had to endure the whole them being in the cabin before she stabbed him before
Yeah,
the
it's
trial.
like it never ends. I'm just like, oh my god.
What?
Yeah.
Felicia was the star of the show.
Well, remember what I said. Storylines usually start in September and then end in May, so we still got a few months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it gets better. I remember what happens later, so we're
I mean,
good.
there are moments that I enjoy, but I'm not really like enjoying this. I'm getting frustrated with the story
Yeah, and
because
I don't know
everybody's
why.
against Felicia, and it's not fair.
Yeah, I don't know why
It's on
Matt's allowed to visit so much. I'm like, what the?
it's
Why are
almost
you always
it's
there?
almost
Sorry.
it's almost uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah.
Like it's just like I don't know, because I feel like she's just absolutely down right now. Like there's no help for her. It feels like Ryan's able to get to her, this creep's getting to her, like she has like no hope. Like
No,
it's
so then
and
because
now they're trying to take Maxie. Yeah.
now because of this doll situation, they take away her visitation rights with the child with Maxie
For a month. Yeah.
But
for a
my
month.
opinion is she should never have them to begin with. You don't well, 2-year-old
Right.
psychiatric facility.
Right.
And then her friend gets her a butter knife. It looked like, but apparently it was made, but it looked like a butter knife.
Yeah.
And she accidentally drops it, and she lies and says that she found it and she was bringing it back to the kitchen, and now he's messing with her. Puts it in his pocket, and Mac shows up as he's like struggling with her and like roughs him up, and now she has no visitation rights.
Right. And
So
then
like, when does this girl get a break?
and he said that Mac brought the knife to
Oh,
I
right,
guess stop visitation rights with him. I'm like, that's what I mean. Like she has like no hope. I'm like, this is a rough storyline to watch.
And this
Like,
guy's
can't you
trying
give
to
her
rape
like?
her in the meantime. Like, it's crazy.
I guess because like once she gets out, you'll be like, oh, thank God. Like at least she's free for now. But
One of you, I don't remember which one of you said it, but I feel like the only way out is for her to go on the run with Mac.
yeah, I mean, I feel like it's going to happen, but it's a matter of how the hell is she going to get out of there now that if Mac can't visit, like how's
Mac's
she going
gonna have to break her out, I guess.
He has spies in his family. He's gonna have to like throw like a gas bomb or something, or smog or fog.
Robert's dead. So Robert
poses like a doctor or something and get her out of there.
Maybe I wonder if Sean will help, like get her out somehow.
No.
I feel like he can.
He wouldn't put his
You don't
job
think?
on the line. I don't think he would.
No?
I don't think he'd put his job on the line like that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I could be wrong, but
so speaking of Sean, we picked up with him listening to the voicemail answering machine message. I'm like, what do we used to call it? Answering machine message.
I was like, they kept saying tape, and I'm like, video?
Of the guy that had the details of Bobby being a prostitute. So he's pissed that she would even go this low to try and use that against Bobby.
Yeah.
And she had just got home with Lucas. So she like tells Lucas to go play so that they can have it out. And he's pissed. And I've only ever seen this actor play bad guys before. His anger, I was like, there he is. That's the actor that I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Ryan and what's his name? Ryan's and Kyle's evil dad in Melrose Place. He was a wicked son of a bitch on there.
I don't remember him on Melrose.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
say that.
I remember
Yeah.
him on 90210, Sunset Beach, Passions.
Well, he's
Yeah. It was
horrible.
in season 7. You probably didn't get there.
No, I actually did watch all of Melrose. But I only watched the last season once.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Mm.
Don't blame you there.
Um, so Tiffany is just very like frantic and manic. Like she's just lying out her ass, like to get her out of any like the current situation.
Yeah.
Poor Bobby. She doesn't even see it coming. She thinks that they're friends and that they're somehow going to get through this together.
Mhm.
Because she's talking a good game. Tiffany's lying to her.
Yeah,
Like,
even
oh
after
yeah,
she's like caught by Sean.
yeah.
Mhm.
And he keeps
She's still
telling her, this is
lying.
gonna like come between us if you keep
She even lies to the judge.
Mhm.
Oh, we're separated. I'm like, girl, you just keep going. Like the lies are just getting deeper and deeper.
So Bobby ends up being exposed for being a prostitute, and Sean is now pissed. Like he's like, you told
Yeah.
me that this was gonna be used, and she's like, I had no idea that he was gonna do it. And then
Yes, she
she's like, yeah. And I laugh. I laugh so hard actually when she like hugs him and then he's not hugging her back. So she goes, "What?" And then that was the end of the episode. And then they played it again in the second. I was like, "Oh, thank God!" I was like, because I just like needed him to chuckle. She's just like, "Oh, you believe me, don't you?" And then she's like, "What? What I do now?"
I don't like feeling like this about Tiffany because I'm like hating her right now. And I'm like, I love 80s Tiffany. I feel so bad. I'm like,
well, she's acting like an asshole. Like,
oh, totally. She's brutal.
yeah,
Edward
I want to slap her.
testified on Tiffany's behalf.
that was hilarious, actually.
He
It was.
I so he said that he's known her for about 11 years.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, so 11 years ago, Jason and AJ either weren't born or were babies. I was like, so they should be 11 years old. They shouldn't be 17
Mhm.
and 20 or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
That's what gets me about
Funny.
soap sometimes because they'll say the actual time, but like babies grew up in that small time frame that you said.
Right.
Mhm.
But you're right. Jason and AJ would probably be about 11, 12 years old.
Well, that would have been 82, 83.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
So I was gonna be like, all right, I was gonna mention this tonight, but then I got my answer pretty much. I was like, we have to ask Karen, like, what happened? Why did Bobby go back to like hooking again? Like, what happened? Like, was she like down and out on her luck, and she just felt like she had to start again? Like, but then
Mhm.
we found out through the testimony that she was being protective of somebody, some teenager who had turned to prostitution. So she was
Mhm.
like going undercover to try and get her out of there before she got
Yeah.
too deep. And then she got arrested. I was like, well, she did
Mhm.
too good job.
It
I mean,
sounds
learn
it
more
sounded
about the
like
Carol stuff too. Like what happened with that? Like she kept the baby, the secret, but she had Cheryl's baby secret from her, and then Cheryl found
Right.
out. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
sounded like a fun storyline too. I want to go back and watch
Mhm.
it.
You're kind of like in the middle. You're like in 83 and 93.
Oh my God, I'm everywhere. I'm 82, 93. I don't know where I'm at.
2023.
Not current. Not current.
um, I was kind of annoyed that they ended the week with like, I made my decision and then it just ends. I was kind of hoping they would say what it was and then just show everybody freaking out and then have it end.
Hmm.
I can't wait to see the reaction.
I mean,
Yeah.
We know what happens. We know who ends up raising Lucas, but I can't wait to see the reaction of this person.
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah. I'm
mean, I'm
excited
gonna
to see.
assume that it goes to Bobby.
Yeah.
So this makes me think if that happens, Tiffany's gonna kidnap him and they're gonna go on the run.
Everybody will be on the run. I feel like
No.
that's the summer. That's usually the summer storylines. Is all everybody's on the run.
Well, I mean, their marriage does fall apart for sure. That's
I
Oh
figured.
really?
yeah. They don't get divorced, but like a lot of shit happens. That's when I
Right.
first started
Yeah.
watching.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Dominique storyline is just like devastating. Like
I know.
I was so upset. Oh my god.
I couldn't even
I
imagine.
know.
Like, how do you fake a smile and try to act like everything's okay when you know this person is gonna die at any moment? Like,
Right. I said I'm gonna be a mess when she dies. I feel like I'm not gonna be able to
And I've
handle it.
become very fond of the actress too. I really like her.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, she's great.
So they have their vow renewal in the church. She's starting to have headaches and feel a little off as she doesn't want to take medication because she doesn't want it to like fog the day and like her memory of it.
Mm-hmm.
But right before she goes to walk out, she like almost passes out. So she takes the medication and then she's like, okay. And I'm like, wow, it works that fast.
Yeah, right. Some do.
But like,
But I was yeah,
when Scott's parents, well, Gail
and Lee.
and Lee, like were speaking, I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
everybody knows the situation. Like, how do you do this?
It's so sad.
I thought it was gonna be a little bit more dramatic and thought she would like collapse when she got down there, but it was before she walked down.
I was hoping that wouldn't happen because I just wanted them to have one nice thing.
Yeah.
Right?
And I love that Lucy came to her rescue. That was great.
Yes. Yes.
So
So
Lucy wants to like help Scott out by getting him the Quartermain cabin for them to go to because their plans fell through. And when she went to Tracy, she pleads with her. She's like, I do have a human side. I was hoping that maybe you had a part of you was human or whatever. So Tracy agrees to let them use the cabin. But she had to get one dig in. She was like, I see the vultures are already swarming. Like, she can't wait for Dominique to die so she could swoop in on Scott. I was like,
yeah. They also have like the vampire reference as Tracy says, "Oh, I put garlic cloves at every entrance. How'd you get in?" I was like, damn. So I was like, oh, they started that early. I mean, I'm sure it was a coincidence, that there was vampires later, but well, poor Charles, but I just thought it was funny.
Going back to AJ, he seems very like zen and like taking responsibility for everything and not blaming anybody. Monica and Alan are trying to apologize for their part in what may have drove him to alcohol, and he's like, no apologies. He's like, we have to move forward. You could see Alan still feels guilty about what he did, and Monica's giving him the cold shoulder.
Yeah, he definitely should.
Yeah. I did notice that Jason's taller than AJ, and I'm like, oh, he's the younger brother's older than the older brother. That's like mine. I'm like 9 years older than my little brother, and he's like 2 feet taller than me. I'm like, I will kick you in your shin.
Funny.
But yeah, we only saw him in one episode. I was hoping we get a little bit more, but I guess he's not ready to come home yet.
Yeah, probably not.
Program.
It's only been there for a month, or probably like a week in soap time.
Yeah. Was there anything specific you guys wanted to touch on?
I love the scene where Tracy and Marco are in the same bar as Jagger and Karen, and Tracy's so embarrassed to be there. That's really embarrassed, sister. Something to be.
Yeah. She was like
Barbara.
Trying to dodge Brenda. That was really funny. I like that too.
And then Marco was like, well, you can either stay here or you can go sit in the car or in the cold. And she's like, oh, I'll stay here.
Yeah.
But it was just really funny. And then Marco saw Jagger beat up those guys, and he was really impressed with him. And I think he's like trying to recruit him to be a boxer or something.
I thought that's what I heard, and I'm like,
like Marco, you just do everything. You can. You want to be someone's boxing now? Like what?
People do bet on boxing.
Yeah.
It reminded me of there's a character, Austin Reed, on Days of Our Lives. When he first came on, he was a boxer, but he was also running, or he was involved in like a gambling ring. And so they were trying to get him to throw fights in order to like, So it reminded me of that, and it was actually around this time too. I think it was like
Mhm.
92.
They're probably gonna do the same thing with Jagger. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Probably.
Hmm
I mean,
Um,
if it gets them shirtless, I'm all for it.
I agree. Oh yeah, and that sounds about right because I remember him boxing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so
and Lee,
Marco, and then I guess eventually Sonny would be the gambling part of it, probably.
yeah.
Probably.
Lee and Gail are moving back to Port Charles, so I guess they'll have a storyline of some sort, or maybe just to send off Scotty. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, he's leaving?
Mm.
He leaves
Scotty's
this year,
leaving
right?
eventually, but not right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I like what was it? I have Lucy and Mac. They talk about like sex and domination. I was like, what is that
Oh
about?
yes. 'Cause that's her scent for her new perfume, Dominique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
That
like, what?
was funny.
yeah,
Yeah.
she came to
Really
ELQ.
Lucy in that scene too, which was really funny.
She came to ELQ and ran into Edward, and she like wanted to talk business with him, and Tracy was there, and
Mhm.
and when
Yeah.
she left, she was like, "I can't believe you fell for that." He's like, "I know her type. She's up to something." He's like, "Doesn't mean I don't enjoy watching what she's trying to do."
Oh, when Edward was talking,
Mm.
Edward was hilarious when he was testifying on Tiffany's behalf.
Oh yeah, he
When he's
was.
talking about like a strong woman, and then he's like, not like uh
Like muscular, like a
muscular
bodybuilder.
woman. I thought it
He
was
said, like a strong
dying.
constitution.
Yeah, I was dying. That was hilarious.
Oh, and we didn't say what Sean said to Tiffany about not testifying. He's like, I'll testify for you, but I might not be on your side. You might not
Yeah.
like what you hear. And I
So
was
that's
like, oh
probably why she
shit.
was like, no, don't testify because he's gonna ruin it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was glad. I'm like, good go, Sean. I kind of wish he would have just been like not said anything, and then like
I
it
would
would have
have
been
liked to
shocking
see
to
it
it.
just to see him put her in her place. Like that would have been.
Yeah, same.
But I think not saying anything was a better move on his part because now he can like somehow salvage what's left of their marriage, maybe. But I don't know.
I
Yeah,
like what Bobby said on the stand about, or Tony said about Bobby on the stand. I thought that
Yes,
was really
that was
sweet.
really nice. I love that.
I know. Now I see why Karen loves Tony and Bobby together. Because when I saw Tony, he was cheating on her with Carly and all this, and I'm like, I hate Tony. Like he stopped
I love
before.
Tony and
She's
Bobby.
like, they're so cute.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I didn't see any of that.
I started liking Tony during BJ's Heart, because then I felt bad for him because Bobby kind of stepped out on him.
Mhm.
But I really like him now, and that's why I'm like, oh, why do people say that he takes a turn for the worse? Like,
I don't know why the writers went in that direction. It did kind of make sense in the storyline,
mhm.
but it was just the things he did. It was just like so out of character for him.
um,
And so we don't know where this painting storyline is going, right?
and now I
Like,
guess Sean's involved because we got that little hint.
Yeah.
right.
And I have to say, Paul Satterfield, I am falling more and more in love with Paul. He's just such a
I feel like
sweetheart, and he put everything on the line for Jenny. He defends her honor. I just love him.
the bad thing about Paul Satterfield though is like he's like a scoundrel in some like in One Life to Live when he was like a badass and he
Yeah,
was still hot. He's still like, oh,
he's,
he's a sexy
he's always
villain.
hot. He's so hot in Savannah too.
We saw
Yeah.
Sly,
Oh,
and
Savannah, I love. Yeah.
Yeah.
we saw Sly, and he like made Dominique promise that she would come to like his games. All of his
Yeah.
games.
Well, Bill's abandoning him, and Sly's like, now this is the first time I actually kind of felt bad for the kid because I'm like Bill because he's like my dad's never around and he's with his aunt Jenny. I guess she's taking care of him.
Before Paul walked in, I'm like, who is this non-speaking child next to Sly, the girl? And
Yeah.
then I was like, oh, it's Susan.
Susan we never see her face. We just see like the side of her. We never see her face.
And she's never on the show as an adult.
No.
Who is Susan?
Neither is
I don't know
Sly.
who she is.
She's Paul's daughter.
Oh, I don't even know. I didn't even remember him having a daughter.
Oh yeah, that's what was big in the serial killer storyline. He was killing because of her, because of Susan.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah,
I heard him mention Susan, but I didn't know
yeah,
it was his
that's his
daughter for some
daughter.
reason.
Yeah.
I never caught it.
Hmm.
That's really funny.
Yeah, he's just always like, I'm taking Susan to school, I'm taking her out to play. Like,
Mhm.
he just mentions that he's doing things with her. We don't actually ever really see
But
her.
we never even find out who her mother is. Like, we have no idea.
I'm sure we do.
Yeah.
We just don't know because we didn't watch it.
Jenny got harassed by that man that wanted her to pose nude. I thought
Oh
that was
yeah,
Right.
I was like,
weird.
yeah.
He's like, there's big money in that. He's like, the senator's mistress on display.
Mhm.
And she's just like, no.
Oh yeah, that was good stuff too with the senator and Tracy. And she was like, I didn't do it. I would never do it. I'll do anything else, but not when it comes to business. Like my business,
Well,
my family business, I'm cool with.
and I hope Ned
He's like,
gets.
I can't control my son.
I
Yeah.
hope Ned
Yeah.
gets. Like, he loses part of his stock in ELQ or something happens.
I
To him.
really
He deserves it.
Yeah, I hope
Oh,
he does too, for sure.
Tracy was pissed because Paul gave the stock to Ned.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, we're married. She's like, I'm entitled to that. He's like, it's still in the family. He's like, it just doesn't not in your control. So like,
Right.
he has nothing. She can't get anything out of him if they get divorced because he sold everything to Ned.
Yeah. And she said they haven't even filed for divorce yet. So there's nothing that either one of them can do about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think she's gonna stall on the divorce because she still loves him? She's like obsessed with him, actually.
Probably. Yeah. She's going to make it very difficult for them to be together. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have anything else?
That's all I got.
Oh, the gardenias. I loved that too. And Lisa got the gardenias for Dominique.
All right, because they weren't in
Oh,
season.
That was so sweet. Yeah, that's her favorite
I
flowers.
know.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this is Lucy's turning point in a way, because she was kind of like a little bit of a scoundrel,
Mhm.
beforehand.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like this might change her for the better,
Hmm.
for when Kevin comes and she falls in
I
love with
think
him and stuff
Dominique's
like that.
changing Scott for the better, and she's also changed Lucy for the better too.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of like that.
Hmm.
Once Dominique dies, do Lucy and Scott kind of get together, like in their grief?
No, he
I
ends
don't
up
know.
with Catherine Bell.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's interesting. See, I think I would like that stuff.
but Catherine's scamming him. She's after Dominique's money.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, I like that even more. See, I think I'll love Catherine.
Where's Jessica? What does Jessica do?
No, she'll be back.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I forgot about her, and I do like her.
um, and also, like, okay, we're in mid-February. Like, can we get the ball rolling on Serena? Like,
That'll probably happen in March or April. Well, definitely March because April. I feel Dominic dies in May, so
yeah, that's why I'm like, hello, where's Serena?
Did Dominique return for ghostly appearances? I feel like she did on
on
Port
Port
Charles or
Charles, not
something.
on GH.
I thought so. I thought I
Yeah.
remember seeing something like that in the
Hmm.
magazine.
Yeah, it was like maybe like 6 months in the Port Charles's run because I was still watching at that
Okay.
time. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like in the pilot that we watched, Serena whispered to Scott that she talks to her sometimes.
Yes.
Is that why we see her? Because we're like seeing Serena talk to her?
I don't
Or
remember.
maybe Scott sees her.
I think
Karen would know.
Yeah.
Get Karen on the horn.
Get her on the
We
horn.
need to have Karen on standby. Just press a button.
We're recording General
Right.
Hospital tonight. Sit by your phone.
Right.
All right. Well, if you guys don't have anything else to add, I guess we could wrap this up.
I'm good.
Thank you for joining us for another edition of General Hospital, the Brenda Years. As always, you can find us on all the socials and Patreon at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, have a great night.
Good night.
Bye.